Shalom, Akim. I'm going to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rakah, Kadash. The honors of the elders and apostles of GMS who teach and rule well, and salutation to all the Akim, all four corners of earth, who's pushing the truth and sincerity. Shalom, Akim. I want to get into this, man. I've seen this, and I was like, this man's ordering sulfuric acid to his island. It says, what did Jeffrey Epstein need with 330 gallons of sulfuric acid? What do you do with this type of stuff? Acid is made for melting down things, man. It could take down metals, especially flesh and bones. It'll tear you right down, man. In the inner cities of America, the nigga woman gets a hold of this acid and they throw it on the other girls. I still truthfully, I forgot how you could get sulfuric acid from stores, but I forgot especially how you get it. But if I'm not mistaken, you gotta have a goddamn certain type of chemical license to get that type of shit, man. Not unless you super plug like this dude right here. You gotta realize this was not no regular dude right here, man. This news has been popping, and since his files have been opened up, more and more things are being revealed as far as the wickedness of this place and the wickedness of the people who dealt with them, man. Everybody who's on his list, if there's somebody in society, people are wanting questions from him, man. So these dudes are running out of time, man. Basically, and not just because they know that they're running out of time. The elites know that they're running out of time. That's why they're doing what they're doing. As well as you got to realize that the Lord puts a spell on them to push at. They got to tell what they're doing at times, man. This is why they tell what they're doing and put it out there. If you believe it, you believe it. If you don't, you don't. That's the way they look at it, man. Especially in today's society where your president could tell you anything and people believe it. In all actuality, you're supposed to do some research, but people don't do research. They go for face value, especially at times we're in right now, man. Where you can be told anything. Let me start. This is Psalm 73, and I'm going to start at 3. Psalm 73 and 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. And these dudes be filthy rich, man. But how did they get all that wealth? By doing wicked deeds and acts. Those type of things, being in this truth, you don't want to deal with that, man. Being of the hopeful elect, we're not worried about none of the riches of this place. We're not worried about none of the money. We all count everything as a loss here, man. Because wicked is they call it money, blood money, So we don't want none of that. The things we're fighting for is righteousness, man. It says, Psalm 73 and 4, for there are no bands in their depth, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Man, these dudes lived about 80, 90 plus years old, man, and have 3 and 4 different triple high bypass surgeries on their heart and shit like that. And then all of a sudden, when they go to bed, they'll just die in their sleep or something like that, man. Well, here it is where you Negroes and Latinos, you're dying of simple diseases such as diabetes. Diabetes will take you out. What about this anal cancer they got out, These different types of cancers that build up in your body, that can really be taken out. But because we're not financially set like these guys are, we have to suffer for the most part, So yeah, they are not in trouble like other men, And this is why they get to run around and do these things, order acid, 330 gallons of sulfuric acid, like this in the 1920s or 30s with the mob and shit. You just gonna melt bodies after bodies, Well, guess what? Right now, this Epstein dude, man, they got the Epstein Island, and now they done found his ranch. That's another video, His ranch they're breaking out. And then on top of that, they're finding out that Epstein was funded by somebody and his boyfriend. And that's a whole nother video in itself too. Because right now, the rabbit hole is getting bigger and bigger, and these different rabbits that are in that hole, they're coming on out, through the Spirit of the Lord, man. Oh, let me bring that up. Bring this up. This is, where I'm gonna start at. I'm gonna start at Obadiah 1 and 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee breathing down, said the Lord. If these came to thee, if robbers by night, how are they cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? You know, so how are these things searched up and sought out, man? You know, like I said earlier, you know, the Lord is putting a spirit upon Esau that he's got to reveal the things that he does, man. You know, whether you believe him or not, it might be too far fetched for you to believe, man, and that's just what it is, man. Because we know how wicked Esau is, so he won't go. He'll go to the farthest ends of the earth to do his wickedness, man. Lately, I've been watching this. I've been watching videos and doing a little research, reading up on it, on this opium wars, which England, put upon China, and now fast forward to today, where China don't play with drug dealers. They kill their drug dealers instantly because of what the fucking Edomites did to them, and pumping their whole country with dope. Why? Because China didn't want to trade with England. They wanted that silver they had. And in return, Esau's wicked ways, he was friends with him and he turned his back. And he turned his back on him, man, basically, But that's the way Esau does business, man. You're in bed with the devil. Let me bring this up. This is Psalm 64 and I'm gonna start at 5. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of lying snares privy. They say, who shall see them? Speaking about what I was saying, man, they get away with all this wickedness, man. But the Lord is keeping an account of everything they're doing, man. And who are the Lord's, who's doing the Lord's business right now on earth? The Israelites are, man. The hopeful elect are. We're the ones tearing down Esau's system through these scriptures, man. We're the ones waking up our people through these scriptures. He says, Psalm 64 and 6, they search out iniquities. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. But Yahweh shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly they shall be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away, man. So once again, we're in the scriptures. We're in this truth. We're able to see the times we're in. We're able to understand why devils like this get away with the things they get away with. And his time is short, man. He's running out of time. We're not believing the narrative that this man killed himself. Why would a billionaire kill himself? With a bunch of friends, and not only that, not just a bunch of friends. This dude was a supreme blackmailer. He has videos on his so-called friends and politicians and stuff like that, just blackmailing the hell out of them, man. And yeah, they got pictures that they got him over in with the small headers over there, because he's a small header, Yeah, so the Lord is making their own tongue fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. This is why right now the Epstein files are out, and all the actors, entertainers, sports players, they're all trying to run away from the files, man. Trump is even trying to bury the files, man. Cat Williams did a nice little special. She said, Trump said, man, yeah, bring them files out. Then one of the secretaries read his name, and he's like, hey, man, what are you doing, man? Put that file back. I know they ain't got my name in there. But yeah, man, the wicked are being revealed right before our very eyes, man. Let me bring this up. This is, I'm going to start at, this is Proverbs 2 and 20. Let me start up. This is, Proverbs 2 and 18. For a house inclineth unto death, and her paths unto the dead. None that go unto her return again, neither take their hold of the paths of life. That they may that thou mayest walk in the way of good men, and keep the paths of the righteous. For the upright shall dwell in the land, and the perfect shall remain in it. But the wicked shall be cut off from the earth, and the transgressors shall be rooted out of it. Transgressors, that's we have faithlessly. So you Israelites with no faith, who are just willy-nilly off for whatever Esau does for you, you're gonna be cut off. The wicked shall be cut off from the earth, man. and the transgressors shall be rooted out of it. So yeah, we're right now we're doing our diligent search, find out who's who and what's what. We're doing we're finding out more and more about these Epstein friends of his and his whole list, what he was doing, why he was doing it. These type of things are going to be the unsewing of America. You know, the more and more these different politicians come out, these different movers and shakers of the world, because we're not just dealing with American politicians. This is a world. Epstein was a world dude, man. And now that we're finding out that he had something to do with 9/11. You know, what about the different wars going on? This dude is one of those sinister bad guys in the movies, and right now we're bringing them out, man. Well, the Lord is bringing them out, man, exposing this dude, man, because he was getting away with a lot of stuff. Oh, what about even the Michael Jackson files? That's another thing. They're saying that this dude, you know, when he was being investigated, all of a sudden he pushed the fire on the mic. You know, Mike Jackson had them coming to Never Land and all that stuff, while his islands were being protected. They were investigating Michael Jackson. Yeah, so the wicked, you know, they're being exposed right now. And, you know, it's our job to expose them, man. You know, we're not going to fall asleep. The scriptures speak about stay woke, stay sober, you know. And that's our job, man, because we have to point out the wicked, man. With that being said, I'm just edifying. Shalom, Maki.